Adding and subtracting fractions. Some fractions are easier to add or subtract. Fractions that have the same denominator are much easier to add because all you need to do is add the numerator. So in this one we have 1/2 plus 2 halves. So we add the two numerators, 1 and 2 is 3, and then we don't add the denominator, we just push the denominator over. So 1/2 plus 2 halves is 3 halves, or 1 and 1/2. It works the same when we're subtracting fractions that have like denominators. In this case, we have 5/8 minus 3/8, and because my denominators are both eighths, all I need to do is subtract my numerator. So 5 minus 3 is 2, and my denominator just scoots over. So 5/8 minus 3/8 is 2/8, or 1/4. 1/4 is an equivalent fraction to 2/8. Things get a little more complicated when you have unlike denominators. When you have unlike denominators, you cannot simply add now or subtract. 1/2 plus 2/4, we must find a way to make the denominators the same. A strategy for making the denominators the same is to look at both of them. In this case, we have 1/2 plus 2/4, and we can ask ourselves, can we multiply the denominator 2 by any number to get our other denominator of 4? And we know we can. We know that we can multiply 2 times 2 to get 4. One thing you need to remember when you're changing a denominator, though, is whatever you do to the denominator, you must do to the numerator. So if we want to multiply the denominator by 2 to get a like denominator of 4, we have to multiply the whole fraction by 2/2. So 1/2 times 2/2 is 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. That leaves me with 2/4. My next side of the problem is already 2/4, so I'm just going to bring it down. When you look at the bottom computation, we now have 2/4 plus 2/4. My numerator, my denominator is now like. They're both 4. So all I need to do is add my numerator. 2 plus 2 is 4, and then slide my denominator of 4 over. So 2/4 plus 2/4 equals 4/4, or the whole number 1. Let's try another one. This time I have 3/8 plus 2/4. I look at my denominator of 8 and my denominator of 4 and ask myself, can I multiply 4 by anything to get an 8? And I know I can. I know I can multiply 4 times 2 to get 8. But I have to keep in mind that whatever I multiply my denominator by, I must multiply my numerator by as well. So 2/4, if I multiply it by 2/2, I will get 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So now I'm left with 4/8 once I do that multiplication. So now on the second row of computation, I have simply brought down my 3/8 plus 4/8 now that I've made my denominator an 8. Now all I have to do is simply add my numerator. 3 plus 4 is 7, and my denominator was 8. So 3/8 plus 4/8 is 7/8. For a subtraction with unlike denominators, I'm going to do the same exact thing that I do for an addition with unlike denominators. In this problem, 7/8 minus 2/4. My denominator of 8 and my denominator of 4 are different. I want them to be the same. And I know that if I multiply 4 by 2, I will get 8. But I also remember I can't multiply the denominator alone. I have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So 2/4 times 2/2 will leave me with 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So my fraction of 2/8 has an equivalent of 4/8, making my denominators the same. So on the second row of computation, I now have 7/8, which I started with, minus 4/8. The denominators are the same. So 7/8 minus 4/8, just simply subtract the numerator. 7 minus 4 is 3, and slide your denominator over, 3/8. Let's do one more subtraction. This one is a little bit trickier because I have to do some multiplication to both fractions. I've started with 9/12 minus 2/6. If I look at 12 and 6, I can't multiply 6 by anything to get 12. So I'm going to have to do a multiplication to both fractions. I'm going to look for a number that both 6 and 12 are factors of. I know that both 6 and 12 are factors of 24. So I'm going to multiply each denominator by a number that will get me to 24. So in 9/12, I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2. 9 times 2 is 18, and 12 times 2 is 24. If I go over to the right side, I have 2/6. I know I have to multiply 6 times 4 to get 24, but I know I have to multiply the numerator by the same thing. So if you look below 2/6, I multiply 2 times 4 for 8, and 6 times 4 for 24. Now the lower part of the computation, you'll see now I have 24 and 24 as denominators. So 18/24 minus 8/24, now I have like denominators, and all I need to do is subtract my numerators. So 18 minus 8 is 10. Slide my 24 over. So 18/24 minus 8/24 are 10/24.